Everyone's entitled to their view, and I understand they had to issue a press release. However, I don't think that's necessarily the sentiment of everyone there. And just for the record, I handed my notice in as an executive member a year and a half ago, and I was in touch with Nikki a couple of days ago. So there was a level of communication, but obviously I understand the feelings, and you know, personally I can say I'm very grateful for my time there. It's just that the political landscape has changed, and I thought it was time to move on and join the GSD so that we can present the best and strongest challenge for this current administration.
I had also unfortunately resigned from the party a couple of weeks ago as a result of probably a little bit of an inactivity over the last couple of months, and if not over a year or so. But effectively, you know, there had been discussions about a merger or an alliance with the GSD. There was a lot of public excitement regarding that. Some people were not party to those discussions. However, you know, like over the last couple of months and year or I've had, you know, like a lot of discussions with the GSD. I've developed relationships with a few of the people in the GSD, both professionally and personally, and you know, the party, whether people like it or not, has been developing a much more reinvigorated team. And as part of that, I was really looking forward to join the GSD and help in that change management program that they're so trying to develop for the next election.
So perhaps asking the obvious, what are your hopes within the party as a member of the executive? Are you hoping to stand for election?
Well, that's a question for the party executive. We can't really choose to be in the election slate ourselves. That has to be up for an internal election, and it will be up to the party executive to decide what slate they're going to present.
And Craig, obviously it is up to the executive, but is it your hope or your aspiration to be representing the GSD at the general election?
Absolutely. Keith did mention, you know, that this would be put to the executive, and I have no issues with that. As with TG, they have a slightly different policy there, the way they elect their slate. But if you can't convince your own people, you don't stand a chance of convincing the whole of Gibraltar. So I don't see that as a problem. I think it's a fair process.
Looking forward, you've said that the GSD will have the right team, the right mix. Do you think that the GSD is getting to where it needs to be in terms of presenting a slate?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, the actual slate won't be decided until much nearer the time, but I think what I was referring to there is this an end to this barristocracy that everyone talks about, points fingers at the fact that everyone in Parliament seems to be a lawyer. I think now we're looking at a much more diverse blend. Of course, the GSD always had Roy, who's not a lawyer, but we're looking at people who are a lot more in touch with town, with the community, with issues. So we're looking to look after the old as well as the young, with some serious policies coming out there, and the fortunate and the vulnerable. It's everyone that needs looking after. Everyone's voice needs to be represented, and I'm sure that's what we'll be doing.
And Erika, you've called GSD the only credible vehicle for change in Gibraltar. Do you see the GSD as the only option as an opposition to the government?
Definitely, I think that's my view. As a result of Marlene announcing that she's not going to contest the next election, I think there's a very big question mark on whether TG will be able to put forward a slate, and as a result of that, I do believe that there has been a lot of a bit of a loss of confidence in the party, and how that will continue to develop over the next coming months. And I think we're pretty much ran out of time because the election date is looming, and a merger which was on the cards has not been agreed yet. And I think it was up to myself and maybe probably Craig as well to finally take the step and actually put your name into the hat and try and do right and agree to, you know, like work for the people of Gibraltar, because effectively that's what we're interested in. It's all being done for the common good, and that's the main driver behind the decision that we have made.
Anything else that you guys want to address?